Let's initiate a precise tactical shift from standard fictional romance and fantasy courtrooms and dive straight into the clinical, razor-sharp, and cold sweat-inducing reality of an elite medical suspense arena. We are scrubbing into the sterile, hyper-volatile operating rooms of a major hospital system with Adrenaline, an exceptional, rapid-pulsing medical thriller written by a real-life practicing anesthesiologist, John Benedict. This debut novel marks the explosive foundational architecture of a high-gear corporate hospital conspiracy saga. Let's lay out the strategic narrative grid. If you are a fan of pulse-pounding stories where a brilliant, hyper-focused physician must navigate an unyielding maze of institutional cover-ups while tracking a series of unexplained surgical fatalities that shatter his clinical focus, where an analytical medical mind uses sharp investigative logic to map out a hidden killer's tradecraft, and where the author utilizes an incandescent medical malpractice-turned-murder diagnostic routine to test our protagonist's survival perimeters, this book is engineered to lock you in. Benedict completely dominates the authentic anesthesia noir dynamic, capturing the heart-racing procedural momentum and claustrophobic clinical tension popularized by genre legends like Robin Cook, Michael Palmer, and Tess Gerritsen, while treating real-world hospital logistics, pharmacology, and raw life-or-death panic with absolute mastery. The narrative tracking grid zeroes in on our central protagonist, Dr. Doug Landry. He is a dedicated, highly skilled anesthesiologist operating under a strict, calculation-heavy protocol to keep his patients alive and stable on the operating table. His daily workspace is a high-stakes ecosystem of drug dosages, heart rate monitors, and mechanical respirators. His psychological perimeters are locked down tight, his analytical focus entirely consumed by balancing volatile chemicals to safely guide vulnerable lives through invasive surgeries. The spark ignites when healthy, low-risk patients begin suffering sudden, catastrophic cardiac arrests on his cable for no logical diagnostic reason. The data metrics don't add up. The clinical anomalies point to something far more sinister than simple equipment failure or human error. Doug isn't just looking at a run of terrible professional luck. His active scanning perimeter registers that a calculation-heavy shadow operator is using the absolute vulnerability of general anesthesia to execute perfect, untraceable executions inside his own department. The tactical parameters instantly explode as Doug's refusal to let the anomalies go turns his professional sanctuary into a volatile psychological pressure cooker. Our dedicated doctor transforms into a fiercely realistic, entirely pragmatic investigator, deploying his massive pharmacological tradecraft and intimate knowledge of hospital infrastructure to establish a counter-surveillance tracking grid. When defensive hospital bureaucrats and elite medical boards try to permanently revoke his licenses and bury his findings, his survival instincts engage their deployment tracks. Every late-night audit of medical records, every quiet confrontation in locked pharmaceutical vaults, and every tense observation of changing patient vital signs chips away at his institutional trust. What follows is an exceptional high-stakes war of technical perspective and raw survival. We watch Doug's clinical perimeters completely unwrapped as he realizes he can trust no one, neither the senior surgeons running the department nor the administrative executives protecting the hospital's financial assets. While he smooths over his internal blind spots with devastating investigative force, the overarching conspiracy tracking clock takes a dangerous turn, proving that the killer has added Doug's own coordinates to the active target list. To survive the impending institutional trap and outmaneuver the forces running the scheme, our rogue anesthesiologist must unleash an absolute unyielding defense of his patients and his life. It is a medical thriller / techno-thriller / crime suspense / institutional noir masterpiece that treats deep surgical logistics and intense psychological friction with elite precision. The tension here burns with a sharp, calculation-heavy intensity. We are talking about that high-frequency, one wrong cc of medication will stop your heart in seconds energy, where a sudden alarm on a patient monitor, an unexpected switch of an intravenous bag, or a heavy, threatening presence lurking down a dark, off-duty hospital wing carries massive structural weight. Benedict writes with an exceptionally fresh, vivid, and beautifully blunt voice, perfectly capturing the clinical cold hum of ventilator bellows, the oppressive atmosphere of an emergency resuscitation attempt, and the distinct subtle scent of rubbing alcohol, cold steel, ozone, and pure, unadulterated dread. What truly elevates this milestone thriller into elite territory is the author's unmatched ability to utilize his actual real-world professional background to deliver flawless technical accuracy without ever slowing down the breathless narrative pacing.
Our protagonist doesn't rely on unbelievable Hollywood action tropes. His immense intelligence, meticulous attention to detail, and independent drive match the complexity of the medical world he dominates step for step, making his choice to risk everything to uncover the truth feel profoundly authentic and deeply gripping. The pacing moves with calculated momentum, tracking intense corporate medical stalemates and breathtaking evasion sequences before ratcheting up to an absolute jaw-dropping final confrontation that delivers total, hard-earned closure to his sector of the city. Adrenaline is the definitive pro-level upgrade your suspense and high-stakes medical fiction library demands right now. It is elegant, immensely fast-paced, and utterly unputdownable. It proves that when your entire universe is managed by a corrupt network of authority figures, the most revolutionary play you can execute is to trust the clinical data and fight like hell for the truth. So secure your personal reading sanctuary, review your emotional defensive perimeters, open your Kindle, and prepare to feel the rush.